Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome back to Travel Tricks 101. Today, we're diving into the breathtaking beauty of Iceland in winter. If you've ever dreamed of visiting this enchanting land of ice and fire during the cold season, you're in for a treat. In this video, we'll explore some essential tips to ensure your winter trip to Iceland is nothing short of amazing. Tip number 1: Plan ahead. Winter or summer, tourism in Iceland is still strong. And while it is busier in the summer, if you don't plan ahead you will still find it hard to get a hotel room in the winter, at least during the holiday season or in Reykjavik. Tip number 2: Be flexible. There are many places that claim that if you don't like the weather, wait a minute, but in Iceland, this is particularly true. This brings to mind another favorite quote of mine: "The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry." With rapidly changing weather, you need to be flexible with your itinerary. When we were just there in November, the plan was to go for a helicopter ride one day and snowmobile on a glacier the next. Neither of those happened. But did it ruin the trip? No. We were able to extend our Super Jeep tour to a full day with stops at a black sand beach. And instead of snowmobiling because the wind was too strong, we went for an ATV tour instead. This is when it is really helpful to work with a local tour operator that can not only accommodate such changes, they can suggest appropriate substitutes. Tip number 3: Consider a tour versus self-driving in winter. If you are visiting in the summer and want to self-drive around Iceland, I say go for it. Driving in Iceland is pretty straightforward if you stick to the ring road. However, driving in the winter can be a different story. Roads close frequently and it is not unusual to experience whiteout conditions, and I didn't notice any salt or sand trucks out and about. Keep in mind that the weather is constantly changing in Iceland, so you may arrive in winter to wonderful weather conditions, but you need to plan for the worst-case scenario. Googling local weather for Iceland is simply not enough. Changes in wind speed, precipitation, and temperature can come together in a crescendo of turbulence depending on the topography and direction of the wind. What might appear as a fairly moderate day on the forecast may result in a storm in a teacup effect on one side of a mountain. On the other side, it could be calm and clear. With Iceland's volcanic, mountainous landscape, this actually happens far more than you think. Professional guides have local contacts that help them make an informed decision every time. A local guide will know what spots to avoid, but also what you can go and enjoy as an alternative. To make a winter visit less stressful and safer, I would recommend either staying in Reykjavik and taking day tours or taking a multi-day tour, with a driver, with a group like Hidden Iceland. Tip number 4: Know before you go. Since the weather can vary drastically from place to place, you really need to check for road closures and conditions before you leave your accommodations. When we were heading up to the Golden Circle on our recent visit, we could visit Thingvellir, but the road up to Gullfoss was closed, so we had to skip it. We also had to take an alternate route from Reykjavik to get there. Icelanders rely on the road.is website for up-to-date information. You can also download the 112 Iceland app. 112 is the emergency number in Iceland, in case you need help on the road. If you are heading off-road at all, be sure to register your plans on safetravel.is. Tip number 5: Layer up. You'll need to layer up against that wind. Start with a base layer, add a fleece and some waterproof, windproof outer layers and you are good to go. Just don't forget a really warm hat and gloves, especially ones with touchscreen-friendly fingertips so you don't freeze your hands off taking pictures. Whatever you do, don't wear jeans, those will get wet and you'll freeze your tush off. Oh, and you may want to skip the Blue Lagoon on a windy day. It isn't fun to be in your bathing suit and get pelted with hail. Tip number 6: Don't be afraid of the dark. The good thing about all that darkness is that you may get to see the northern lights. The downside is that you don't get much daylight to sightsee. In November the sun rose around 10 a.m. and set by 4 p.m. In January, it gets even shorter, with the sunrise after 11 a.m. and sunset around 3 p.m. If you are going to get to see anything, you are going to have to head out in the dark. Plan on getting up and having breakfast at 8 a.m. and hitting the road around 9 a.m. so you can arrive at your destination by first light. The good news is that you will be treated to some amazing sunrises and sunsets. If you aren't comfortable driving in the dark, that would be another reason to base out of Reykjavik and take some tours. Tip number 7. Be prepared. The cold can sap the life out of you, and your batteries. It seemed like every time I stepped outside my phone went dead, even if I had a pretty good charge. My solution was to bring along backup power packs. Turning on that charge brought my phone back to life. If only it were so easy to bring life back to my frozen hands. And it isn't just phones that go dead quickly, camera batteries get used up quickly too. Make sure you bring backups with you throughout the day and consider a weatherproof camera or a good travel camera. Tip number 8. Be safe. In the US, we are so used to having sanitized tourist experiences. Our waterfalls have nice safety rails, maintenance crews are diligent about putting salt and sand on slippery ice, and we warn people that peanut butter may contain peanuts. Not so in Iceland. First off, if there is a warning sign, it is for a good reason. Likely there was an accident that happened there, so don't blow it off, take caution. When you are walking up to the waterfalls, the mist from the falls makes it really icy. You will be best off if you have warm, waterproof hiking boots with spikes or get some clip-on crampons. Lastly, when visiting the beaches, especially those around Vik, don't get too close to the water's edge, especially if you turn your back to the waves. They are known to experience rogue waves that can sweep you in and rough undercurrents that can pull you out quickly. And always keep a close eye, and/or hand, on any young kids. Tip number 9. Think about your activities. So do your research in advance before booking your trip. You don't want to be disappointed that you can't go whale watching because it isn't the right season. Tip number 10. Don't pin all your hopes on the Northern Lights. While I was disappointed, we still had some amazing experiences and I enjoyed every minute. Luckily I was able to finally see them when I visited in September at another time. There are a few things you can keep in mind when picking your dates that may increase your chances of seeing the aurora borealis. First, September to April is the Northern Lights season, but you will have the greatest chances in late November through March. Since light pollution interferes with seeing the aurora, you will have a better chance of seeing them if you stay outside of the city. We loved our stay at Hotel Ranga, where not only do they have their own observatory and an astronomer that comes in on clear nights, but you can also elect to have them wake you should the aurora make an appearance. Since we visited right after the supermoon, we were disappointed to learn that the aurora borealis usually doesn't appear on or near a full moon. If you want to check the forecast for predictions, visit the Icelandic Met Office website. If they do appear, you will want to be prepared. Sleep with your warm clothes at the ready. Keep your camera equipment at your fingertips. Make sure you bring a wide-angle lens, tripod, a remote shutter release, to avoid shaking your camera, and extra batteries, because of that cold. If you are renting a cabin, consider leaving the camera outside set on the tripod so you are ready to go and it doesn't fog up going from warm to cold. Whether you visit Iceland in winter or enjoy the longer days of midnight sun in the summer, I hope you fall in love with Iceland the way that I have.